Hey CCS family, I want to take a few minutes to give you an update today, a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is walk around campus with you a bit as we talk about the things that are happening, not just in virtual campus, but on campus as well. You'll notice I'm standing right in front of Hallward Courtyard, and I'm in something a bit unfamiliar, and that's a really large hole. Just so I can explain this, you might not have known, in the middle of all of the things we had to do to get ready to jump off a cliff into virtual campus, we had a sanitary sewer problem that caused toilets to back up right at the end before we closed campus for a period of time. And Jim and Forrest and Michael did a good job of working through that at that time, so you didn't realize it, but the city of Chattanooga has been here since we let out school on campus and has been working here. This was actually a much deeper hole a little while ago before it got backfilled, but we're back to having all that fixed, so we're grateful for all the work that's been done here. But I'd like to start here and show you a few other things that are on campus while I hopefully give a shout out to a lot of the things that are happening behind the scenes that we don't hear about every day as we talk about workloads and video chats and the type of things that we're doing teacher to student to care for students while they're away from campus at CCS. So if you don't mind, we'll walk together towards some other things that are happening as well. I'd like to stop the on-campus kind of construction part of the conversation to say again how proud I am of particularly the teachers and the frontline student support services that are caring day by day for students. Their resilience is extraordinary. Their willingness to adapt to change and to make new things happen on the fly has been a real comfort and blessing to me as we've considered how do we do this well in uncertain times. The one-on-one support that's being provided by all of the divisions that support students, in addition to what happens in the regular classroom, is equally extraordinary as they work together with students who otherwise might have a really difficult time adjusting to these circumstances. So we're thankful to have that opportunity to keep those services going. And behind the scenes, virtual campus doesn't work if technology doesn't work. So I hope you understand Stephen Eibach and Julie Davis's job has probably increased tenfold in the last 3 weeks as they've prepared not only teachers to teach and to push things home for students to work on and to learn from, but also to help and support families as they've had their own technology challenges. So keep Stephen and Julie in your prayers because their work won't stop, and pray for them that they'll also have a work-life balance of their own, because there's unending questions for them to answer and unrelenting circumstances where they can provide help. But we're sure thankful for the two of them as well. That's been a big part of what's made this as successful as possible in unprecedented circumstances. But I'm walking now around the back of the campus, about to walk up to where they're in the process of continuing to build the Learning Center. Modus Construction has been at work long and hard during these times that we've been away. And you'll notice, if I can do this, and I'm not great at this, so I'm sorry about that, but you'll see a lot of things that are happening. There's walls that are being built and structures that are going up in anticipation of being able to start our learning school operations in the fall of 2020. It warms my heart to think that on campus next year, when everyone returns, our capacity to serve students with disabilities that we currently aren't able to serve will be expanded in significant ways. We believe that's missional. It helps us support the beauty of how God's created all of his image bearers to contribute to the work of expanding his kingdom. And we're thankful and grateful that Modus is still hard at work, of course, exercising good practices of physical distancing, but hard at work to continue this construction happening as we look forward to the beginning of the Learning Center. Also hard at work on campus is Michael Hallward and his team. They haven't stopped either. They're spending the majority of their time right now overhauling and doing significant maintenance on our HVAC systems. Things that can't normally be caught up with, because even in the summer, things are so busy, it's difficult for us to get that all done. So congratulations to them for the work they've already accomplished. And as they finish that, we'll actually start on some of our bathroom renovations in places that, Lord willing, operations resume before the school year would end. But those things, that work can continue to be going on even as students hopefully return before the school year is out. But we're really thankful for that. We're also, the contractors that we have in ABM and the people that cut our grass, they continue to work. We think that's important work that should be done. The cleaning contractors working hard to deep clean the whole facility, again in preparation, hopefully, that students will return soon. But we also want to be good neighbors in the sense of allowing those contractors that want to keep their employees working, that we can continue to provide the work that we've committed that they would be doing. So we're thankful that ABM is on task as well. Our admissions staff continues to work. Meg Word and her team works hard to present the same type of personalized experience for our new families as we want to provide for our current families while they're on campus and learning. And we're proud to be able to say that as a result of that effort, we're actually ahead of where we were last year in student admissions and all the interest that we have. We don't know what's going to happen as the fall starts next year, but it's certainly helpful to have them involved and to have the whole admissions team working for that to happen. You notice I'm at the softball fields now, and I'm going to show you another piece of construction that's started. This is in between our softball field and the powerhouse. You'll see a bunch of dirt's been moved, and that's in preparation of building a batting facility that was actually part of our Flourish campaign. We plan to have this done this spring, and we're grateful that this work also can be done even while our students are off campus. But I think it's helpful, right, to see not just the construction that's happening, but as you can see in the background, the grass is getting greener and the leaves are coming out on the trees. And as Sarah Drexler said at a meeting that we had last week, it's exciting to see as we observe God's creation, even in these more difficult times. It's exciting to see the work that God is doing in pulling green leaves out of brown branches. It gives us a sense of renewal and restoration that's helpful even as we process trying circumstances. So my hope is that this short update will give you just a little bit of a glimpse of things that are happening behind the scenes. But you'll also notice in this email there's two things that are attached. One is a link to a survey that'll be open from the time that you receive this email for the next 48 hours. This is one of the ways that we're looking for feedback from our families. That feedback is really important as we try to execute a virtual campus that puts student learning at the center, that provides purposeful work for our students to do, and doesn't ignore the realities that we place, the importance that we place on student engagement. So we'd really appreciate it if you took the time to fill out this survey. You'll also notice there's a link to a Zoom webinar where you're welcome to attend. It's not mandatory, but if you'd like to hear from me some more and possibly even answer some live questions, you'll see the information that you can access that information coming up this week, Thursday, before we head out for spring break. Again, I just want you to know we're committed not just to the good work that we've been calling ourselves to do as we teach your students, but to pray for you by name on a regular basis. We think this is a wonderful time to demonstrate the love of Christ by loving our neighbor well. And we'd really like you to join with us to consider exactly what that looks like. What are the things that we can do in a time of uncertainty and anxiety of fear to let the love of Christ be seen, not only in the messages that we teach and the words that we share, but in the way that we care for each other physically and tangibly during this time. It's a privilege to serve you as the president of CCS. I'm honored to do so. May God bless you during these times.